A 7-0 loss to bitter rivals Liverpool, followed by a 0-0 draw against the bottom of the Premier League table, Southampton. It's not too early, it is too early in fact to say that Manchester United are in a bit of a rocky form, or a rocky patch form-wise, but the signs of it aren't great because, again, losing 7-0 to Liverpool, you could explain away to an extent by the fact that, truth be told, a lot of the players kind of gave up or kind of their heads slumped after 3 or 4 goals went in. But against Southampton, there was one very important incident that took place that not only derailed the match against Southampton, but could potentially have some impact on Manchester United going forward, and that is, of course, the red card of this man right here, Casemiro. Now, Casemiro, you'd remember, was in fact sent off for a straight red card, and it's the second straight red card that he's had so far this season, and it's actually kind of ironic in some ways because till this date, Casemiro had never been sent off, or rather sent off with a straight red card in his senior football career. Yet, when he comes to Manchester United now, this is the second time that he's seen a straight red. And what happens if you get 2 straight red cards in the same season? Well, it's not exactly good. Why? Because usually a straight red means a 3-game suspension for the player. But because this is Casemiro's second, straight red card this particular season, the punishment will be up and his suspension will be for 4 games. As I said, hardly ideal if you're a Manchester United fan, or even part of the coaching staff, playing staff, because Casemiro is so key to how it is they play, and probably the only man in the team who does the kind of job he does. With no Casemiro, potentially you're seeing a return of the dreaded McFred combination, which of course refers to Scott McTominay and Fred. No, Casemiro, big problem. But there were some debates over the red card, and truth be told, Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag made it very clear where it is he stood on this entire matter. He said that, look, Casemiro is a really fair player, he's tough, but he's fair. It shows. He's played over 500 games in big leagues and never been sent off by a straight red card. That's what he means. Now, it has happened twice, and it's a valid point to make. And it does raise a lot of questions as to why this is suddenly happening. Has Casemiro suddenly become more aggressive? Is it because Manchester United's midfield doesn't quite offer him the same protection that Real Madrid's midfield, featuring the likes of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, did? They're valid points, but it is also worth noting that, well, this, much as it may seem debatable, the reason it was given a red card, or why he was urged to change it to a red card by VAR, was because it was a poor challenge. And you can debate this, but what you cannot debate, or according to Ten Hag at least, is the fact that VAR was a little inconsistent this season. Again, stop me if you've heard that before, because that happens so often. At this point, it's become something of a running joke. This is what Ten Hag had to say. He said that what I think is about the inconsistency, players don't know what the policy is, and we see it. At Leicester Chelsea, you had 2 penalty appeals. VAR was not intervening at all. Yet today it was intervening on multiple occasions. So what really is the policy? Makes a fair and valid point. That being said, doesn't take away from the fact that the tackle was potentially a dangerous one. So you can understand why it is he was sent off. However, the major plot line here is that the 4 games that Casemiro could miss, at least 3 of them are are potentially banana slope fixtures, because one of them is a cup knockout, the others are against teams that, well, on their day could actually give you a bit of a run for their money. So the first match that he'll miss is Fulham at home, and that's the FA Cup quarter-final. Again, considering Manchester United, the way they stand right now, they won the League Cup, they could very well be in with a chance of winning the FA Cup too. But again, Fulham this year have been very good, and without Casemiro, you'd have to at least say that the scales are balanced a little bit. Newcastle away, very key fixture, because both Manchester United and Newcastle United are in contention for the top 4 spots, and whoever wins this would be theoretically at least putting themselves in a better position. Then there's Brentford at home. Now, Brentford are never an easy side to play against, very direct, very hard working, and they have the ability to punch above their weight against bigger sides. Don't forget, Erik ten Hag's managerial start in England came against Brentford, and it did not go well at all. The only of these fixtures which you can say is slightly easy is the one with Everton at home, but again, Sean Dyche's Everton can be a tricky customer, as they proved when they managed to beat Arsenal, current league leaders, in his first game in charge. So there is plenty that could still happen when it comes to these particular matches. And why I say it's so important, or why Casemiro was so important for Manchester United, is that, truth be told, they don't have a backup to him. Yes, they have midfielders who can perform a similar role, but not at the kind of capability and, the kind of assuredness that he brings. They don't really have that kind of a player. So it doesn't look ideal that he could very well be missing 4 games, 3 of which are pretty massive games. And United, who of course, ended a 6-year trophy drought with the League Cup victory, could very well have been looking at, pushing further. But right now, after that loss against Liverpool, their league title or their league run, their hope at maybe being a part of a league race, all but done. Now it doesn't look like, they could very well be knocked out of the FA Cup too, and their top 4 chances too might be in jeopardy, and that perhaps is the major problem. How it is they navigate this time when he's not here remains to be seen, but it will be really important for them to do so without dropping too many points. Otherwise, this could very well be another season to forget, despite that Carabao Cup victory. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this particular video. If you agree or disagree, you can let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon. Don't forget also to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we may have done. For now though, from my side, goodbye.